Hey everyone, so in this video I want to go over a few pieces of equipment that I think have been very helpful to me this year, and I think they're worth picking up. They also happen to be pretty budget friendly as well, so I want to go over each item and kind of talk about the pros and the cons and why I picked it up and how it fits into my workflow. If you guys are interested in any of the items, I'll put links down in the description below. So let's get into it. So the first item I want to talk to you guys about is this light wand from Zhiyun. This is the Cinepeer CF100. And the thing I like about this the most and why I've been using it quite a bit is it's 100 watts. So this compared to like an aperture tube light or any tube light for that matter, those tube lights are usually like 15 to 20 watts. So they're not that bright. And oftentimes I'm using these to do a wash on the back wall or just to light up a space or add some fill or something. And when I use a tube light, I always want it just to be a little bit brighter. That's one thing that I like about this. It's 100 watts and it does have like a built-in battery, which is nice, but this thing gets like super bright. So this light's pretty awesome. It does come with a bunch of accessories. It comes with this little diffusion and it comes with some barn doors. You can remove the barn doors, but I usually just keep them on there. It's always nice being able to direct the light a little bit more. But I mean, this thing gets super bright for how small it is, 100 watts. They do have another version of this, which is made out of, I believe it's all metal. This one is made out of plastic. I don't mind the plastic because I feel like it's a lot lighter than the other one and it's a lot cheaper. So this is more than half the price of the other one. And it has essentially the same features as far as output and usability. You can connect it to the app so that way you can control it. But yeah, I've been using this thing quite a bit, either as like a top-down hair light or, like I said, like a wash or just ambient feel. The only thing I would say, and I don't even think it's a negative, but there's not a whole lot of mounting points on this thing. It's just one on the bottom. I wish they would have included some on the back or something like that, but I can still work around this. Oftentimes I'm just laying it on the ground and then just kind of redirecting it up and then hitting a back wall and just letting it wash out. That's what I've been using this mostly for, and it works great. So at the time of filming this video, you can currently pick this light up for about $150. Right now they're having like a holiday sale, so you can pick this up for 150 bucks. Usually I think it's like 180, 179, something like that. So it's definitely worth picking up, especially at that price point. I feel like it works really, really well. So the next item I want to talk about, not many people know about these straps, but I actually met the founder and he's a really cool guy. And honestly, I've been using these nonstop on all my productions just because it makes it so much easier to wrangle cables. Oftentimes when I'm on shoots, I'm working as a one-man band and it gets very chaotic quickly. So I always try and find things that help me with organization. And I've just been putting these on my light stands so that way you can dangle cables. So when I am building out a light, I'll usually put everything together. So I'll have the light stand, the light, the modifier, the extension cable, the ballast, everything on the light stand. So that way I only have to move one thing once it's built. So this goes right on the light stand itself, or any sort of stand, C-stand or whatever. You can use it on combo stands. It's an adjustable width. And then once it's on the stand, you have this little clip and then you can just clip in multiple things. I use it for extension cables and power cables. You can just kind of leave them here and then they move around with the stand. And so all your cables are nice and neat. You don't have to worry about, you know, losing a cable or misplacing a cable because it's right there on the stand. And then when you need to use it, you can just quickly unhook it and then you can use it. I even will plug it in and just get enough cable and then put it back in so that way I keep things off the ground when I'm on a shoot. So there's just not a bunch of cables just laying around. It's still kind of neat and tidy on a light stand. So these things have been super clutch and they're only like 15 bucks. So I literally picked up a bunch just for my stands. I have one for each of my light stands, so that way they can just live on the stand and I don't even have to think about it. So these are made from a company called hangtightstraps.com, and you can pick them up directly from the manufacturer, so they'll ship them straight to you from the website. And they're only 15 bucks, and I feel like it's a no-brainer just to have a bunch of these in your kit. I have one for each of my light stands, and they just live on the stand. I don't take them off. So these things have been like super nice. Okay, so the next item I want to talk to you guys about is this little sticker from a company called, I think it's Checklist, but essentially it's a little cheat sheet for, I think right now they just do Sony cameras, but I don't know what their plans are. They might release some more eventually, but this one is specific for the FX3. They have a whole bunch of different little, this one is titled A, but you can, I think they have B, so you can have an A and a B camera. But the way this works is you literally just put it on the back of your camera like this. So in my case, I have it on my FX3, and this one I have without the camera A or camera B letter there. This one's just plain. But honestly, this thing has been very clutch, because sometimes if I mostly shoot in Cine EI, but there's been a few times where I've had to shoot in S-Cinetone because the client like wants to. And I'm sitting there on my phone like Googling what's the base ISO for S-Cinetone or S-Log3 or whatever. So this just has it written right here. So if I ever need to just triple check settings, I know it's right there. And oftentimes I'm shooting with bigger crews, and some people aren't super familiar with Sony cameras. So it's nice just having it here, because then they can just see, okay, the base ISO is 800, and then the second base ISO is 12,800. So I just tell them just stick to those, and I don't have to remind them because they can just see it right here. It also has a little checklist just to check resolution, frame rate, aperture, lighting, audio, color checker, just little things like that that just help you remember to bring stuff or just triple check your settings before you're about to film. So I definitely think these are worth picking up for $6. Honestly, I'm more of a one-man band type shooter, so there's 1,000 things on my mind when I'm filming. So it's nice just having a little comfort and knowing, okay, I have the basics written down here. I can just check it every once in a while, make sure. Sometimes I have so many things on my mind, even the simplest things can kind of slip sometimes. So it's nice. I think it's well worth the $6. Okay, so the next item on the list is this monitoring system from a company called Axoon. And this is the CMO version. They do have a 4K version, but this is just the standard version. And the number one reason I like using this, I have a ton of monitors. I have used Small HD, Atomos, OC, used them all, they're great. But the one thing I like about this monitor that some of the other monitors don't do is this iPhone 15 screen is super nice. And honestly, I feel like this is kind of the standard now, is making sure it looks good on your phone. There's been so many times where I've exported clips from my computer and sent them to my phone just so I could see what it's going to look like and essentially what everyone else is going to see using a phone. Now, if you're using Android, that might vary. You're using a different version of iPhone. It may vary, but I always try and make sure if it looks good on my phone, then I'm happy with it. As just kind of a general rule. Now, I know there's ways to calibrate monitors, and I'm sure, you know, there's other ways of doing it. But for me, I like using this monitoring system. I've used it on my FX9. I've used it on my Sony FX3. And honestly, it's just super awesome. And it has all these different functions built in. You can add LUTs, all the stuff that you'd want to do. It also has the ability to stream. I've never used any of that, but it's kind of cool that it has it. So this has been like super awesome to use. I never thought I would need a monitor like this or use anything like this. But honestly, just that functionality of being able to see it on my phone has been super awesome, and I've used it a lot more than I thought I would. And it's only 75 bucks. I had it in my Amazon cart for a long time, but I finally decided to pull the trigger, and honestly, it's been definitely well worth the $75 price tag. Okay, so the next two items on the list I actually have been using in this video, and it's a projection mount that is projecting an image onto the background. So I'm going to grab that real quick so I can show you guys and talk about it. So the next item is this company, it's called Digital Photo, and this is their mini snoot. And honestly, this thing has been super awesome. If you work with projection mounts, you know how big and clunky they can get, but this one could almost fit in my pocket. And I really like it. It comes with a bunch of these gobos, which are these patterns that you can display. And I think there's like 15 or 20 of them in this little booklet. And you can focus and defocus the pattern. And it comes with a bunch of these different mounts. Right now I have this fitted for a Zhiyun mount, but it comes with a bunch of other mounts that you can use if you have a different brand of light. But yeah, this thing is so small, it's nice just being able to pack it in my backpack and not have to think about adding a whole projection mount to my kit. This can just fit pretty much wherever. And the price on this thing was only like 55 bucks. I was a little skeptical at first because it is so cheap, but honestly, the build quality is great. It's mostly made out of metal, and the gobos that they came with are actually pretty decent as well. Another thing that I really like about it is it comes with essentially two sides, so you can add two gobo patterns. And oftentimes, I'm always trying to like see which one I like better. So it's nice being able to like quickly A/B the gobo pattern and see which one is going to work better. You can quickly just add them in here. They're like magnetic, and just see what it's going to look like. Some of the other systems that I have, it's a little bit clunky. They can only do like one at a time, and then just takes a little bit longer to figure out which gobo pattern you're going to go with. So I think for the price, this thing was really valuable to me. Okay, so the next item on my list is this light from Zhiyun. This is the CX100, and this thing is super clutch because it's very small and it's super bright. So I've been using this for a lot of like travel gigs where I just can throw a couple lights in my backpack. And this thing is bicolor, and like I said, it's 100 watts. So you can definitely use this as a key light. You can use this as like a fill light. It does have an attachment so you can put like a Bowens mount on it. And it does come with a little mini reflector, which is nice. But I think this is a really powerful light. So the main thing with my workflow is I need things to be very portable and also efficient. And that's kind of where this thing fits in, is it's bright enough and it's small enough. So I could literally just put 2 or 3 of these in a backpack, and that's my whole lighting system for a shoot. So yeah, this thing works great. It does come with a built-in battery, which is nice. I mostly just keep it plugged in so I don't have to worry about battery life or anything like that. And you can literally just plug it in with like a USB-C, or it does have a DC 24 volt plug-in as well. So I can't say enough good things about this. This is definitely my go-to light if I need to be like ultra portable, and I can just throw a couple of these in my backpack, and it's worked out really well for a lot of travel shoots. So, but yeah, having a few of these in your kit is super awesome. So right now you can pick these lights up for like 143 bucks on the Zhiyun website. There's a little bit of a discount going on. Usually they're like 180, but honestly, I think it's worth the price tag in my opinion, just because of how small it is and how bright it is. I've definitely used it quite a bit, and it's worked out great every single time. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. I appreciate it. Hopefully it's been helpful to you, and if you have any questions, just feel free to leave them in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.